Hey everyone, it is Dr. Teralyn, and I am here co-hosting a brand new podcast with my friend and colleague, soon to be Dr. Jessica. Soon to be. Hello. So welcome everyone to the Feisty Aphrodite. And yes, so for this first podcast, we just thought we would give a little chit chat on why we wanted to do this and what it's all about. So welcome to the Feisty Aphrodite.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. Get your cup of coffee, or if it's evening, get something else and have a listen. If you're driving, pay attention to driving though.
Absolutely pay attention to driving. So Jessica and I are we are therapists by trade, but we didn't want this to be too therapeutic in our approach. We wanted it to be fun and sassy and all the things classy that we could think of, right?
I call it unprofessional, Jess. So I'm not necessarily going to be my therapist self on this podcast, but more of like me and my life. And, I am a sex therapist. So talking about sex, but not necessarily through like an old therapeutic lens.
The boring therapeutic lens of sex. Right. We want to get real. We want to get nitty gritty with you guys because we're as real as you can get it. And we've been meeting each other for what, a year now or something like that?
I think it's been longer.
Has it been longer than a year? Yeah. And we thought, man, some of the conversations we should push that record button and just put them out on a podcast. So here we are doing that for you. Now, what we would like to have happen is to have some feedback. So nothing really is off topic here. If it's about sex, relationships, life, whatever it is, it's not off topic. And we would love to hear from you to know what you'd like for us to talk about. So if you have a show idea, we are all ears to hear that. But This is completely non-therapeutic, off the cuff, real life, in your face, maybe sometimes. Maybe in my face sometimes.
In your
ear. All right.
It really is like more of a discussion about those topics and laughter. And it's, like we're like Sex in the City, but therapists. And I'm dating. Teralyn is married. So you have two different perspectives there, which I think is a lot of fun. But really, I talk about sex all the time. I have shirts about sex. I felt like we need to have this space where we can talk about it openly. So if you have a question, you have a topic, you have a funny story, like we want to hear them. And of course, if we share your information, we can do so anonymously. So it's not like you're going to be called out, but I guarantee that someone else is thinking the exact same question or similar or something like that. So we would love to hear from people, women that have these same questions, these same stories. Sex, relationships, like they're hard to navigate. Let's chat about them.
And they're fun.
I think they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. And so many people like sex is a taboo topic.
Mm-hmm.
And even sex is a taboo topic in a relationship. It's fascinating how many people I talk to and I'm like, well, have you talked to your partner about that sex need or whatever? Well, no. And I'm like, say what now? Like we need to open these conversations for women to be empowered by and talk about sex and have fun with it.
Right.
I think, let's see. So I'll just disclose. So I am hedging in on 52 in January and been married for, it was 25 years this past July. And I've got a lot of experience of good sex and bad sex and sex in a marriage and sex not in a marriage and all those things. And I think it's important to talk about it. Now, I have given my husband I didn't really give him a choice, actually. I said, hey, just so you know, I'm going to be talking about you. He's like, whatever, per usual.
Oh, totally, Steve.
I know, right? Yes, my husband's name is Steve. So if you hear the name Steve, that's the guy. That's the big guy. So, so we just thought we would bring this to you and have some fun.
And I haven't been, I was married. It was very brief. So, I mean, I do have a marriage experience, but it certainly didn't last. For me, my life is is back on the dating market at whatever the hell age I am now. I had a birthday during quarantine. Like, it feels like those didn't count, but I think I'm 38. I think I'm 38, you guys. I don't even know.
Isn't it weird how we forget because
Yeah.
I've forgotten how old I am too. I'm like,
I am 38. Yes, I just did the math. So I'm 38 and dating again. And what a weird fucking world that is.
totally.
But
I can't even imagine, actually. I can't even imagine it. I really can't.
You don't want to imagine it.
Especially during a quarantine, really?
Yeah, it's pretty boring right now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like 60 matches a day on one app, but they're all boring. Like, oh, how was your day? I don't know you. I'm not telling you how my day was. Like, come up with something better. So I'm navigating that. There is an iconic episode of Sex in the City where Charlotte is like, I've been dating since I was 16 years old. Where is he? And like, that's my life is I've navigated, so many relationships, one brief marriage. And it's kind of like, I've been dating a very long time. Where is he?
It's funny because when I was in my mid-20s, I thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went through, and it's interesting because I have this picture on my refrigerator of me when I lived in New York City. And she was cute and sassy and fun and all the things. And I thought about just yesterday, I put her on my fridge, her meaning me. I put the picture on my fridge and I thought, this girl had no idea what was ahead of her.
Mm-hmm.
No idea that within 3 years, she would meet the person she was going to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being that I was 21 in the picture. And I remember thinking, I'm never going to find love or a person to be with or all of that. I remember all of those, sharing all those thoughts in my own head,
Mm-hmm.
About that. But little did she know, and I remember sitting on the couch with Steve the other night and I thought, how the hell did we get to 25 years? I don't even know how that happened. Like, never in my wildest dreams did I think that was going to happen. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
I was going to say, well, you not knowing that happened at least shows that it came with some ease. Not that it was easy.
Oof, there were times.
If it was 25 years of like trudging through mud, 25 feels like a real struggle.
Oh man, I would have never done it. I'm not somebody that trudges through mud for very long. We can't because it destroys your soul. It's soul destroying.
Mm-hmm.
So not to say that it's all been, lollipops and rainbows or anything, but and I'm sure we'll talk about some of that during the course of this podcast as well. So,
and that's what we're wanting from this podcast is really like our experience of things, because the themes repeat themselves for other people. So listeners might not be in our exact same situations of life. They might not be our ages, but there's going to be some commonality. And I think that, just being open to talking about sex, both for ourselves and, whatever any listeners send in, really allows for us to bring it out of the closet so that it isn't a taboo topic, so that it is something that is fun that we can talk about. And, I think that it's really important for people to be able to start talking about these sort of things. So people may not relate directly to exactly where we're at, but that doesn't mean they won't relate to our themes, our sass, our goddessness, which is why we named it this. We are both sassy. We're not typical therapists because, okay, so, if y'all are listening, you can't necessarily see me, but I am wearing a sweater.
But this will be on YouTube, so you will be able to see you then.
Look at my ugly sweater. I'm not that sweater wearing therapist typically.
Except today, right?
Except today I'm like really lazy. It's Sunday. I had coffee. It's chilly. So I am wearing a sweater today, but I don't normally even wear sweaters in my session. It's like, like Teralyn and I are not typical therapists. So we were like, I'm more of identifying with feisty as embodied as all these sort of feelings. So that's really why we came up with our name, because within all of us is a feisty goddess.
Mm-hmm. And if I knew that when I was younger, like I had no idea. And I think so many people, although, I mean, today's world, and I sound like I'm super old or anything, but it can be a very highly sexualized world to live in. But
Mhm.
yet I still don't think that we're talking about sex the way that we could. It's either like,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's either like all, or nothing
Mhm.
still,
Mhm.
and kids are getting out of high school highly sexualized, but they're not really talking about fun sex or how enjoyment of life and relationships or not relationships and having sex, all
Yeah.
those things. So I just don't want anything to be taboo here. So
Mm.
if you guys, this is definitely an adult feature.
And we do swear, like, so
No,
if that
no.
is, like if you're the type of person that can't handle some swearing, it might be hard for you, because I swear,
So do
Teralyn
I.
swears.
Hmm.
We're just like passionate, and it just comes out. Like I swear in my sessions.
Me too.
That's the kind of, like, I've always said that who I am in my living room is who I show up to be professionally, because for such a long time it was more of, you had to create those barriers, and I think me being authentic was super important. So
Hmm.
you're going to hear some swearing from me. Like, I'm just going to showcase who I am, and hopefully y'all like that.
And if you don't, it's not the right
Don't.
podcast for you. And I'm totally fine with that.
Right.
So just so you guys know, you can find us on YouTube. So it'll be just, what your YouTube channel is, because we'll post it on yours and mine.
And I'm
Um,
pretty sure mine is Jess About Sex.
Just About Sex. And
Yeah.
mine is just Dr. Teralyn. So it'll be on our YouTube channels. It'll also be on wherever you listen to your podcast will be listed there. So make sure you subscribe, drop us a comment, and yeah, we'll be here for you on the Feisty Aphrodite. All
Yeah.
right. I think that's the end of our first segment. How do you feel, Jess?
Good.
All right. Everybody, tune in. Join us for the Feisty Aphrodite. We are glad you're here. And yeah, see you next time.
See you next week.
Yeah.